There we go. Hey guys, this is the Sharp app live ARB tool beta. Very excited to show you our beta model of our live ARB tool. It's mind-blowingly quick and powerful, and we're still adding tons of features to enhance the tool as much as possible. So I'm going to be trading in real time, but before we dive in, I wanted to show you some of the features. So the first claim I'm going to make, and it's a big one, is that we are one of, if not the fastest, refresh rate in the ARB game. We've taken the safe approach, which is speed over anything. And if you are familiar with ARBs, you know that speed is pretty much the most important thing that you need to have. Because if you get stuck in a trade, you are at risk. And we want to minimize risk. That's why we do ARBing. And a lot of our other sites, when you click the links, by the time you get there, it'll be dead, or you could have a wrong EV indicator, and again, you're going to lose money this way. So we're trying to make sure that the customer is able to take care of themselves and set up proper ARBs the right way. All right, so I think it's in poor taste to kind of have some of our other ARBing services side by side to compare, but I encourage you guys to, if you already have another ARB service, to have the stream up and have your service up kind of side by side and compare them. There might be a lag delay in like the actual stream, but it should demonstrate how actually lightning quick we are. All right, so first I wanted to show you guys our 100 plus sports books. I go over this every time, but it's just so important to have as many out as possible. All right. So we have obviously our main books, our ample amount of fantasy books, our exchanges, ProfitX, Novig, Polymarket, and then we have our smaller market books. And the reason why this is so important, again, is because you want to have as many outs as possible, right? And if our other services don't have access to these books, well, now you have a competitive advantage over arbors that are trying to race against you. And the more, obviously, action that people take, the more likely it is to change the line. All right, so you're going to be able to select and create your own preset, which is very valuable. You can change it based on, which sports or kind of what time you want to set things up. I'm going to put in the main books across the US and just kind of let you see how fast it is in real time. And I do want to emphasize that pretty much all the books have one-click functionality. And that is the game changer, because again, it allows you to complete the trade as fast as possible. That's the name of the game, right? So you can just click and it'll open up a new tab, or you can do what I do, which I think is the quickest way to do it. I've worked with our developer to make sure that this happens. So basically, you can just left click, drag, and throw it into the tab, and it'll populate over there. You do the other side. I don't remember which one I did. I think it was maybe, we'll go like this. Okay. And the way this works is, I'm not signed up to this one, but basically you set up the trade on both sides. You want to do your left side first, because that's usually the outlier market and the one that's going to probably change the fastest. So you want to make sure you get the left side in first. You would put your right side up, make sure that the numbers are correct, look at your screen to make sure that it's the right thing, and then try to enter relatively close to each other to make sure that you actually successfully complete the ARB, right? All right, let's see here. Okay, so some of these you'll see that there's multiple books, and that's because they're either a skin of each other or for some reason they have the same odds. So we have an ability to click here and you can select which one you want from there. And this is again beneficial if, say, for some reasons you can't get the full amount down that you want to. So if you're limited on one side, it's another way to kind of fill your complete order. And what you can actually do is, say you only got $70 down, you can change your amount right here and it will tell you the amount left that you need to complete. So again, very handy in making sure that you get the full extent of the trade that you want to do. Also, we have the Dutching method, which is the free roll method. So if you wanted to say $100 here, that's I don't think that's a real line. We'll make sure that's out. But basically what you can do is set it so that either one side wins or you break even, or in the case that both sides have positive odds, you're gonna win a much bigger or a little lesser amount. And it's a better way to do things if you want to set up recreational cover. Usually, you know, your everyday bettor will bet a nice round number, and we want to kind of mimic that to try and, you know, and further our account health and, you know, make sure that we can get as much as we can out of our sports books before getting limited. All right, so let's see here. So I'm going to choose my books that I'm going to work with today. And these are the books that are already loaded. I know that I won't get limited and have delays because, again, I want to kind of showcase the speed here. So these are the books that I'm going to be working with. And what I do is not necessarily pure ARBIng because, again, if I feel like there's an EV spot that's a better situation, I'm probably going to take that. I'm very risk adverse, but I do believe that if you're cutting yourself off by, you know, betting against what is probably the best side, you're losing value over the long run. So in cases where, why did I lose Pinnacle there? That's not cool. Let me see this here. All right, let's get it back up because Pinnacle's really, okay, I'll just redo this here. So we have, all right, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Bet365. So I select Bet365. I do have a skin for a bookie, and obviously I cannot show that on screen, so I'm going to select that for my own purposes. And then we have Bodog, which is great because it has the prop builder and its own site. So there's two different player prop sections that you can hit up at the same time. Pinnacle, obviously. I do have Proline because it's one of the softest. And this is ESPN Bet, but for Canada for me. All right, so I'm gonna create April 16. And there we go. All right, so I'm gonna throw that up. All right, now, be forewarned, again, that there is risk. I hate when people say, you know, this is absolutely risk-free, it's guaranteed money. It is, in a sense that you can successfully get the trade down, you don't make any mistakes, and you're not violating any house rules, and that they don't void the market after, right? So again, yes and no. So I don't want to come off as like a car salesman and being like, hey, this is, you know, you can't lose. You definitely can. So it's very important that you take the time to learn the system, get the speed that you need to get to, you know, actually get everything down. And it does take practice. So that's why I'm trying to showcase it for you guys a little bit here. All right, so the very first thing is our filter. We want to make sure we set things up. I'm just going to do all the sports today. So obviously if you just wanted to select one sport, you could do that. Also, if, for example, you wanted to just zone in on one game, you can set it up so that you just have the Miami Heat here selected, and you will get player props still from that game and main markets, but it will be specialized to that game. So, okay, we're going to take this away. And the next is, if you want to get very specific, you can hop into our markets, and we have, again, 100 plus markets. You can get very, very specific if you want to. And this, again, makes it very easy to kind of focus in on the market that you want to actually try and hit. And there's some pretty crazy ones in here. So you'll find something that you'll like. I'm just going to leave it wide open. Although for the purposes of account health, I will stay away from things like blocks, turnovers, steals, things that, you know, an everyday bettor would probably not bet. So the bet order, now this would require an exchange. So this basically means that if you have exchanges selected in your options, one of the pairs has to be an exchange. This is a way to kind of EV bet in a way, because again, you know, if you're limited on the traditional sports books, you can use this to kind of get a market average idea and use the exchange without the chance of getting limited to get your bets down. In the future, we're going to be able to require X sportsbook, which is what you can choose. So for example, if you wanted to just pair everything against Pinnacle, you could do that. And again, you could easily just EV bet that way, or use, FanDuel for player props for the markets that you think they're sharp and efficient in. So I'm going to leave that open. Date range, obviously, it's just going to do today because it is live. Min-max odds. Now, I'm just going to leave this open, although we are going to be very careful that we don't have an ARB situation where it's probably a bad line. So for those that don't know, we're transferring data back and forth with the sports books, and sometimes the sports books, those sneaky guys, they'll release what are fake lines, almost a millisecond in between to try and throw some services off. So you just have to be aware that some of these ARBs do not exist, but at the same time there might be an actual juicy one that is real. So we're just going to keep that open. And of course, minimum percentage. I know a lot of people like to do 3% as their minimum because they want to get some value out of the actual trade, and because they don't have a lot of volume that they want to put in, that makes it a lot more worthwhile. I'm going to keep it open, especially because if it's an ARB to sharp service, you're automatically knowing that it's a positive EV bet. But even if it's like a 1% and I see a DraftKings mainline against Pinnacle, I'm just going to hit the DraftKings mainline, and that 1% is going to be more of an indicator that it's a plus EV bet. All right. So I think we can actually just start. So I'm going to be doing that. All right, so let's see what we can do. Make sure that I'm going to stay away at the beginning from these big minus numbers, because again, it can take away a lot of your betting power in the beginning. So right here, hopefully we can get it in time. I'm going to drag Proline over here, and I'm going to hit Dallas minus 153 if it is still available at Proline. And that's because we're going against Pinnacle as the source of truth. So I'm going to go live betting. Now there's no one-click functionality that populates it here, so I'm going to have to do it manually. I'm going to go in, and we may or may not get it. They did change here. So sometimes they'll have, at least for this one, they'll have -1.5 and they'll have a -1. It doesn't have it, so we're going to skip that one. All right, so here we can try and go for Tyler Hero. I'm bad with names, by the way. Over 3.5 at -105. So we're going to see it here. He's not on there. We're going to see if it's on the main one. And over 3.5, it did change. So sorry, we're on here under 3.5. There we go. Let's try and go this side. Have this populate. So we have under 3.5. Geez, I probably should have logged in before doing that. All right, so we have under 3.5 here at +130. And if this is under -130, it is. So we are going to go 100 here. +120 still good. And we're going to go 105 here. Only got 82.43. That's fine. And again, side by side, it's very easy to make sure that you're getting in at the same time. This may or may not go in. We'll see. All right, there we go. Easy peasy. And we'll continue betting and find some more that we have. All right, here, player points, I'm just going to take it against here if it's available. So again, we're going to go throw total points under 39.5, -125. So I'm just going to take that as is. And it changed for better. So I'm going to hit, because the speed is so fast for the Sharp app, I'm not too worried about the actual odds changing. If I do see it disappear from this screen, I can expect that it did change. But if it's still active, I'm pretty sure that it will still be up. All right, so this one changed, so we're just going to pick a different one and continue on. All right, so here we have a 4% ARB that we could try. Not anymore, because again, everything's very, very quick. So let's see what we can get here. All right, this one seems to be good. All right, throw in the left side, throw in the right side. And we're going to allow. All right, so we have plus 155. And we have player props. Zealous points. Okay, so over this one. If it will let me do it. Sometimes the location services is the thing that will actually slow you down. By the way, guys, this is my first stream doing this, so please go easy on me. All right, we need to find it again. Here we are, over. So we got minus 130. All right, sorry. All right, I did this backwards, which is again why you need to. All right, so here we go. We have over and under. And we're going to go with DraftKings first because they are known to limit me a little bit, so I might not be able to get the full amount in. And as soon as we know that it is, we're going to snap click this. All right, and sometimes it's the speed of the actual sports book. All right, cool. I'm pretty sure I can grab this still because it's still up here. All right, perfect. All right, moving on. All right, let's see here. We do have this. We're going to just take that out. FanDuel, and actually I'm going to stay off that one. Josh Giddey. All right, let's go here since we're already on here. And throw this one in. This is going to be a pain if I don't fix that because of this browser. All right, so we have Josh Giddey over, and we're looking for PRA on the under for Giddey. Okay, so under 44.5, minus 110, perfect. And 100, gonna do my FanDuel first. All right, I only got 26.83 down. So I'm gonna go 25. All right, sure, sounds good. And minus 110 still, plus 130. There we go. All right, moving on. All right, so we have, let's see here. Can go Vukovic, left side, right side. Okay, and 10 plus rebounds. Vukovic, here we are. So we have, this is the over. We're looking for the under. And all right, so we pull this up. And don't know why that's there. Let's grab that. Fumbling a little bit, it's fine. All right, we're gonna go 104 and 100 here. Try to get in the DraftKings first. All right, there we go, full one in. These guys are pretty good. We do have a backup with the score. Okay, we get a little bit better, so we'll see what we can do here. Might have to change, that's fine, even better. This is over, which is 10 plus. This means that it's under 10, so we still match up for a positive EV bet. All right, there we go, perfect. All right, strikeouts. So let's go for it. We got draft. Okay, disappeared, so it doesn't mean it's up anymore. Let's look at something else. So we did this one. First period goals. I mean, sure, why not? And pulling. So total goals, 2. Not seeing it too flat, so I'm just gonna move on from this. Okay, so we have under 56.5. It's against Pinnacle, so I'm just gonna take it right away. Let's see, where'd it go? This is why we need that pin feature. I promise it's coming very soon. Let's see here, second. I'm gonna abandon that. So I probably should have paused it, not a big deal. Moving on. Let's see what else we can find here. Again, these are too big, so I'm just gonna minimize that. And okay, minus 240. Let's see here. believe I did him. I don't want to start hitting the same guy multiple times. Here we go, 53.5. If it is still plus 100. So sometimes with DraftKings, you might have to just go somewhere else and then come back in. Although I don't know where it went to, so I'm going to have to... All right, let's just move on. That's fine. Here we go. Pinnacle against Proline. I'll try and hit that under 4.5. So let's see if we can get that in. Minus 138. I'm going to switch this back to 100. So if we can still get minus 138, let's go for it. The other one we can do is minus 10.5 at plus 110. It's bad when the sportsbook speeds are the ones that are tripping you up here. Now you can do this on mobile very, very soon as well. And when you click it, it's pretty much the same thing. It'll just go directly into that. And it has a lot better chance of populating during the mobile way. All right, these are too big for my liking. Again, this just goes so fast. You got to be really, really quick. We already did this. All right, I don't mind doing this one. It was FanDuel against the DraftKings. I did miss it. Here we go. So we're going to go this side. And Josh Giddey under 9.5 rebounds. We're just going to throw it in. Okay, it went to 10.5. There's the 9.5. Minus 120. Is it still up? Giddey under 9.5 rebounds. It's not there anymore, so I'm just going to abandon that, which is fine. All right. Kobe White now. Let's go to, this is still Miami, right? All right, well, there we go. Rebounds against, so we got under 9.5. Okay, under 9.5 at minus, so this is, we can log in. All right, so there are some difficulties again in doing this, which is fine. I promise I'll get better. I'm not too quick with it just yet. There is some practice that you need to get going with. All right, here we go. So, player rebounds. Let's start over here. Giddey. Okay, now it wants us to go with this one instead. Here we go, 39.5 PRA. So let's try the PRAs. Let's pause this, see if we can get this in. PRA. All right, Giddey, and we want the under on this side. Josh Giddey. Here we go. Under 41.5. That seems crazy to me because this must have moved. But if it matches up, we can get it down. So let's see here, 40 plus. All right, I mean, if this goes, this is a really good spot. Plus 175. All right, let's see if this repopulates. PRA, Giddey. There we go, still works because we got plus 175. There we go. All right, they're gonna take it down. All right, let's see if it's still up. It is. So let's try again. It's not there. All right, we're just gonna abandon this. There we go. Josh Giddey. Come on here. Let's get this going. Plus 180. Great spot if we can still get it in. It's worth trying to hammer in. Allow. All right, here we go. And PRA. There we go. Minus 130. Let us get it in. 39.5. There's probably a reverse middle there. It's probably still worth it in my opinion. If we can get this in first. All right. So let's try and hit this. And we'll go and hit this. Okay, we only got 18 bucks. So that kind of sucks. We'll just do 25 because it's a nice round number. All right, that would have been a little bit better if we could get a lot more on there, but that's fine. All right, here we go. Let's move on. Trying to be a little faster. All right, this is too big of odds. We're going to stay away. We already hit Huro. And all right. Player made threes. I don't mind just hitting the DraftKings part of that. So player threes. And it's down. So let's go ahead and move on. That's fine. First half total. Let's see if we can hit this. First half. So we're going to go lines. Oof. It's rough out here right now. All right, let's move on from this then. Let's do double-double. This would be a special. All right, really rough out there right now. All right, let's move on. Let's see what else we can hit here. All right, DraftKings. And we're just going to go against the main market here. So if it's still live right away, we're going to hit it. Plus 160. Or sorry, minus 160. All right. And it's down. All right, moving on. Let's see what we can pick up. All right, here we go, minus 166. I think we tried to do that. But I'm guessing it changed quite a bit. Chicago. This is a third quarter money line. I mean, I'm pretty limited already at DraftKings, so I don't mind throwing it in. There we go. Sounds good. Little plus EV bet there against Pinnacle, which is fine. All right. And I'm going to try and hit this one next, which is KC against Pinnacle. It did move, so I don't think that's available anymore. Let's see what we can grab here. Under 7.5. It's fine. Again, this is moving lightning quick. That pin's going to be so valuable. Plus 130 on KC. Let's just try and do it this way. If we find it. Or, you know, I just play this. All right, so it's gone. All right, let's see here. We did this one already. And we did these. So I'm going to remove this. We're going to create a feature that just gets rid of it so it doesn't keep popping up in the future. Player made threes. I can do that. Just go root. Seems to be down. All right, let's see what we got. Minus 166 we did already. Wiggins. All right, let's see if we can do this one here. Plus 110 under 6.5. All right, and dead. All right, let's move on. Let's see what we can get here. All right, so still the 6.5 rebounds. Let's see here. Wiggins, rebounds, under 6.5. All right, there we go. And we're going to go against FanDuel player prop, which is fine. Bodog seems to be pretty soft against FanDuel live player props for NBA, so I don't mind at all doing that. And let's look for another one while that goes. So let's see here. Third quarter money line. I think I hit this already. So let's do, I did see Patrick Williams pop up at one point, but that's probably gone already. Now, what a lot of people do for live arbing, and one of the reasons why I'm fumbling so much is because I'm trying to do this while it's actually in play. So usually people will do it on stoppages, which I think is a very good strategy that is coming up very shortly, as it's a very important to do so because you have a much bigger window. And that's because usually it'll take 3 to 4 seconds for them to actually get the pair. And then you're able to actually take 20 seconds to do that. This is really like just on the fly. So again, I'm not getting down as much as possible. But then again, because it's flashing, showing good value, and then disappearing. So for the ones that I can catch, awesome. For those that I don't, I just move on. When we do have stoppages, it's going to be a lot easier to take my time and actually make sure that I get the trades down. But let's try and do a little bit more. It has been half an hour, which is fine. We'll try and get a little bit more in. Let's see here. This one's already hit. This is too big. All right, so we have player made threes. I'm gonna go take this against FanDuel if it's still up. All right, so 115 and in. There we go. And I'll give what they take me, which is fine. All right, and we have an alt there. By the way, this purple symbol right here means that it is an alternate line. If it doesn't show that symbol, that means that it's an actual main market line. Or sorry, like a regular line. All right, let's go back in. All right, we just have to always get past this login, which is going to happen. All right, let's see here. Do we still have it? Over 6.5. So we have minus 116 over 6.5 on Arizona at minus 118. And let me check Pinnacle just as a side reference here. Arizona. All right, yeah, I like this a lot. So let's get this in. At 139, it is no longer a good bet. So we're going to get away from that. All right, let's see here. What else can we get through? Again, these are really, really quick. So we have a little bit of white, so we're not going to do that one. This one is too big. Josh Giddey. I'm not really going to touch the ARB for that. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's against FanDuel, so I'm just going to grab it. And let's see if they'll let me get in. All right. Next, let's see here. First half total points. This should be all right. Where did it go? Again, I need that feature, pin feature, Ray. Ray's our lead developer. He's working on speed and making sure that this is all clean. So his priority's on that, but I want my features to try and get it going as fast as possible. All right, see here, under 3.5, I'll take this against FanDuel. And I'm just going to make sure that it is actually live. So I'm going to go here, share location, allow, and make sure it's open. So let's see here. Patrick Williams points. And Patrick Williams points under. So I'm going to take 100. It went down to 2.5. Still good here. All right, perfect. Moving on. Let's go to, we've done this one. We've done a bunch of Giddies. See if we can get a few more in before I wrap it up there. And I promise I'm going to get better at this. Please forgive me. It's my first stream again. All right, so let's see. We did Wiggins. Let's see here. Pinnacle. All right, minus 15.5. So hopefully we can still get this. I'm going to just recheck. So let's pause it here. Go Miami. See if we can get there here. All right, might have went the best. All right, moving on. It's fine. Here we go. Okay, plus minus 4.5. This is good. I don't want to do a third quarter spread. It's just something that you kind of want to stay away from. If a rec better isn't going to normally bet it, then you probably shouldn't bet it. All right, unless you're limited already. So if I'm already limited, I'm just going to try and get as much as possible in. I don't really care what they think anymore. All right, let's see. This would be a really good one. Although my FanDuel is limited for this type of action, so I can't do that. So let's see here. What else can we do here, though? I don't mind that. The plus 190. It disappeared, though. Again, it goes so fast. Let's see. I did not take this yet. So I will take minus 130 if it stays alive. And minus 142. I don't see it. Yeah, it's still okay. All right, $59. I'll take what they give me. All right, let's see. We've done this. Randy Rose. I don't think that's real. I think that's just a fake out. Let's see here. Again, these are the third quarters. They're made threes. No, I haven't done Burks yet, so let's try and get on there. Okay, I don't know if that went in or not, but if it didn't, it didn't. That's fine by me. So let's see here. Burks still up, so I'm going to do it. Okay, so it seems to be suspended. That's fine. Moving on. All right, let's get at least one more before calling it. Again, thank you guys for, bearing with me as I go through this. Of course, there are still a few features that we need to obviously implement, but I wanted to, again, showcase how fast this is. Again, I really hope that you guys took the time to actually bring up your current service, if you have one, side by side and see the difference between refresh rate, because I think it is definitely a game changer. So hopefully this one populates. We have BAM. All right, so let's go. Minus 145. I don't see it anymore, so I'm just going to abandon it. Unless it pops up again. All right, so we're going to take that out. Let's find one more if we can here. Again, it's just so lightning fast. All right, plus 18.5. That's what I mean, right? It's just so fast you can't even do anything on it. All right, it's gone. All right, let's see here. I don't remember if I did this, but I can try and double up. Points under 34.5 for Tyler. Perfect. All right, let's go for it. All right, let's see if we can get one more in if possible, and then we'll call the stream there. Again, like, this is just around the corner. It's only $179.99, and if you sign up with code SS, you're locked in. I mean, it's pretty evident that, we have similar features to some of the best sites, albeit at a much, much lower price. So as someone that is probably into EV betting, you can understand the value that you're getting at such a low price. And again, as we continue to roll out more features and bring it into this whole package, the Pro Plus package, the price is only going to go up, understandably, because again, we have to, pay for the development costs, but you are locked in at that price and you will be locked in for however long you stay subscribed. So again, I think it's a no-brainer at the $179.99 price point. So let's try and grab one more if we can, and then I'm just going to call that a day. Okay, so plus 18.5. Let's try and get a spread in at minus 120. Hopefully we can do that. I swear I'm a lot faster when off stream. I'm a little nervous here, but let's see what we can do. All right, basketball plus 18.5. Perfect. Let's go for it. And let's throw it in. All right. Do a little dance. Try and get it in. So I do have a few things I need to work on, so I will try and clean that up for the next stream. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what this has to offer. And again, like, I didn't do the perfect job of, showcasing everything, but you can definitely get an idea of what you can do with this and all the, hidden power behind having such a great speed. So again, when we can, get your filters into the right settings, you can start pinning so that you make sure that it's already up. And you can make sure that it's a live line by the way that it's up. We are going to start to feature uptime in seconds, so you can see whether or not it's still live. Obviously, it goes to 0. It was pulled. So let me see here, though, real quick. Minus 2.5. All right, it's probably gone. Here we go. Under 6. All right, let me see. Detroit. Under 6. Let's see if we can get it real quick. And it's down. All right. I'm going to call it there, guys. Again, if you have any questions, please DM me. I'm the Sharp Surgeon on Twitter, or you can email ss@sharp.app. Again, I think it's the best case scenario, if you're interested, to actually reach out and have a conversation first. I don't want to, just be a car salesman and say, hey, our product is the best. Join and sign up right away. I want you to actually have a conversation with me because, again, every player profile is different. People have different risk tolerance, different number of sportsbooks available to them, and different betting histories, like I say in all my videos. Because, again, if you have fresh accounts, I wouldn't jump right away into ARBING because it's a quick way to get limited. There are certain ways to prolong the account health of your account. So I would want to work with you to try and set up a plan for you to do that. Because, again, as a customer, I feel you deserve that. There's way too many other services right now being like risk-free, guaranteed, sign up today. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. And it is and it isn't, right? There are a lot of steps. Obviously, I'm doing this for a while, and I've obviously fumbled a little bit. So there is definitely a learning curve. So I want you to work with me. So, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always here. I'm the surgeon. And I'm going to